everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Maneaters Series. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with my awesome special guest, John Ward. How you doing, John?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, we were thinking of what we should do, right? And I don't know who came. Maybe it was you who came up with it because you're interested in seeing it or whatever. But and I watched it and absolutely adored it. I watched it twice. You know, the movie that we're talking about right now, we're going to be talking about is Eye of the Beast,
Eye of the Beast.
starring James Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek. You know,
That's correct.
yeah, Dawson. Dawson, he can't escape that creek, can he? He's even on a creek in well, it's not a creek, I guess it's a lake, or is that what they call
Apparently
it?
not.
Apparently not. Well,
I've
what's
also seen it twice.
what is it?
Uh, in this movie, it's a lake, but he lives by a creek, apparently.
Right. So it was a lake that they were at.
But
Yeah, it would have been interesting if it were a creek. It would have
but I
been
was
fun.
kind of thinking while watching this is yeah. I was kind of thinking with this is his name. So you have, let's say, Casper Van Dien or James Vanderbeek. Do these names stop them from doing better movies? Like, do names like this people don't take seriously? So they go, no, you're going to do Eye of the Beast, while somebody else, Michelle Williams, goes off and wins an Academy Award.
Or Katie Holmes.
Like, does a name, or Katie Holmes, or really any of them? It's just like, what does a name hold? Because you see these types of names on these types of movies all the time.
True. Really, you're right. Though in James Vanderbeek's defense, he was in he's done like good special guest spots on big television shows. He's done great movies. Even a lot of times poking fun of himself. He did was it Don't Call the Bee in Apartment 23 or whatever it was, and he was basically playing himself in it. Or whatever. And kind of an exaggerated version of himself, kind of like in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where it's just an exaggerated version of Dawson or of James Vanderbeek. So yeah, see, and he can't get away from that name, right? Dawson. Everybody kind of knows him as that. So I don't know.
That's the Dawson Creek guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
I just always
also,
wondered if a name has anything to do with being hired seriously or not.
I guess well, I mean, it's really hard because once you've kind of become that person, you look at Daniel Radcliffe, who was, Harry Potter, then he goes on to do, he basically tried to do as much stuff that wasn't Harry Potter as he could, he played like a not undercover guy going into a neo-Nazi thing in Imperium, like he tries so hard to get away from being Harry Potter. And James, I think, kind of fell into a spot where he wasn't getting a lot of work for lead roles, but he was getting he's still getting lots of roles, you know. I don't know.
I think some of these people have to work at it. Like, you don't want to be typecast as Harry Potter or Hermione, so you got to go out and do those risky movies. Robert Patterson is kind of a good example of that. That he just didn't want to be, the shiny vampire. So now the guy's Batman, but it's almost the same thing as kind of like was it a Hayden Christensen? It's, if you've ever seen Shattered Glass, he's actually great in that film,
right?
But yet he's always labeled as
Anakin
the whiny
Skywalker,
Anakin, and then did kind of left film. And it's like, no, dude, you're actually a good actor. Maybe if you kind of went that Robert Patterson route where you just took more films and took a chance, maybe you would kind of be on that level. But
true, but James did that. He did Rules of Rules of Attraction, and that was a fantastic film. And I almost want to say Rules of Engagement. That's a completely different movie.
Totally different movie.
Yeah, but Rules of Attraction, and he did such a phenomenal job in that movie. I mean, one of the most like iconic scenes in that is him laughing. That one scene where he's just laughing, and I'm like, I mean, it's completely different thing. And so he's done that. He's done the risky thing. I
He should
just
have stuck with it. He should have. I think Roger Avery had a lot to do with maybe why, because that film wasn't really well received, and
yeah, maybe
was
that was
so. But I think if he would have stuck with it, done more stuff like that, then he probably would have been more of just a Sci-Fi Channel guy.
maybe, but like,
He's not.
is he?
He's not a bad actor.
But he's not a Sci-Fi Channel guy, really. Like he's done this, but I don't think he's done many others.
I'm
Like
kind of
I think
lumping
this.
him in with that. Just kind of saying those types of movies.
Okay, okay, no, I get it. So anyway, let's go back to the movie that we're here to talk about
Because a
because
lot
I
of
know.
these guys are good actors. So yes, I know I went off on a little bit of
No,
a
no,
thing.
no.
It's
I
good
do it all the time
watching it.
too. I
Just
get
why hasn't he done better?
right. But it's a good question, and it's definitely something that I feel like uh not a lot of people are really talking about. Because I think a lot of people will kind of just like we were just saying, but I think a lot of them people just kind of brush him off. But I really do think, and I've heard some really great things about him because I knew some people who worked on Dawson's Creek as a like extra, because they lived in Wilmington, where they were filmed. And they said that he would come and hang out with the extras, in the break room and watch like football games with them, and stuff. Which I mean, I don't know, like, does that make him like kind of like seem like a better person, than all the other actors who didn't really do that, or what I mean? Like he does seem like
Right,
a really
right,
cool
yeah.
dude, and um and that is sort of refreshing to hear, because you kind of hear about like the divas of the groups and stuff, and you know and it, so anyway, to go back to Eye of the Beast, I wrote some notes down about it, but let me read the back of the label so we can get an idea of what this is about, right? In a small fishing village, panic and fear are spreading as legend of a giant underwater beast grows. When government scientist Dan Leland, played by James Vanderbeek, is sent to investigate the murky waters, he soon uncovers a sea monster beyond anything he could have ever imagined, complete with massive tentacles and a taste for human flesh. Pretty much sums it up. I mean,
Pretty much.
I, I don't think I could have written a better, thing for it.
And the
Maybe
box gives it away of what the beast is. So
yeah, the box gives it away. I mean, it's a freaking giant. It's a giant octopus
yeah,
movie.
you
I
could
mean,
try to hide it in the description as much as you want on the back, but on the front, if you put that octopus on there, you kind of give it away.
and when you say tentacles, I mean nobody thinks of anything but octopi when you think of tentacles. Like and sea. Like if you think about sea and tentacles, you think octopus. Um.
Sure.
But anyway, filmed in Winnipeg, Canada. That's kind of cool. I love seeing that. I
Gotta
feel
get
like a
those
lot of
tax
sci-fi
write-offs.
gets. Yeah, I think a lot of sci-fi does get shot in Canada. And there was some beautiful scenery in the movie. Would you agree?
I enjoyed its location. I liked where it was shot. I do have issues with how it was shot, but I love the location. It kind of had a humanoids from the deep, or even I know what you did last summer, because they had those the fishing towns. So I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed those type of locations.
Why didn't you like the way it was shot?
I thought it seemed like most of the whenever they went out at night on one of the boats, it was black and white. Like there was no color grading at all to it, and it looked day for night.
Right.
Especially with the speedboat at the very beginning, that didn't look like the moon. That looked like the sun, and it just looked like, unless they were actually on the boat, if it was like a far shot or something, it looked black and white. And then it
Okay.
would like cut to another shot, then it would look color, and then it would go back and look black and white. And I just thought it was really weird. I don't know if it was the DVD that I was watching, or like the transfer, but it kept kind of flipping back and forth, but it was only on the scenes that took place out in the ocean or the lake
True. True. I'll get that. Like,
or creek.
okay. Or creek, you know. We're just gonna call it a creek, like even if it's a lake, just because of Dawson, you know. Actually, I grew up on Dawson, by the way. I just want to just say this. I grew up watching Dawson's Creek, so I loved it. I don't give a crap. It was like people are like, "Oh, that was for girls." That was not for girls. The dude was a motherfucking filmmaker making horror films in his first beginning, and then he became like wannabe Spielberg. He was so me. I connected with him completely, and I still watch the show because it's a lot of fun. I kind of skipped through episodes. Some episodes were boring, like some too much drama.
I used
You
to
know,
watch it.
yeah,
I watched it because it's Kevin Williamson, and he is a big deal at the
exactly.
time because of Scream. So
And I know what you did
I
last
watched it
summer.
because of that.
I
Yeah,
I wa- I wonder if
they wrote the script for that.
I wonder if Kevin Williamson has seen this movie. That would be a big question. Like, if I ever got to meet him, I don't think that would be like the questions I'd ask. But if I ever got to like hang out with him after a while,
You've seen Eye
that
of
would
the
be
Beast?
something I'd. Like randomly, if we are just like chilling one day, I'd be like, "So did you ever see Eye of the Beast? It's filmed in a fishing town, and and it's got your boy, in it. So, but yeah, well, it's so funny because spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Dawson's Creek, Joey doesn't pick Dawson, and I was so mad. I was like, "What? What happened?" That was ridiculous. Um,
How dare her?
how dare her? That guy was
How dare she?
connected.
How dare her? How dare she?
I think how dare her. I
The
think
show's
that sounds
even
right.
the show's even named after him. So yeah, how dare she not
Well, I mean,
pick
maybe
him?
that was the twist. Idea is like, oh, we don't let the guy, the main guy, the one the creek is freaking named after, win.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe she just thought it was all ego. I'll forget you. You got a whole creek named after you. You're kind of a narcissist.
maybe that was it. Oh, we've been spending way too much
but
time
I
talking about Dawson's.
but but I did think actually that he did do a good job in the film. I liked how he was James Vanderbeek, that he was more subdued. That he wasn't a Dawson. That he actually seemed annoyed about having to be in this town, and I don't think that was the actor; it was the character. But
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed his. I liked his character on how he kind of downplayed everything and didn't get too excited with it. So that part I did like with him.
yeah, like he was subdued and he seemed natural. Like there was, I mean, his acting was pretty good. I think most of the actors were pretty damn good. Like the
Yeah,
main
yeah, they were
girl
fine.
that was fantastic. All the even the characters that sort of were small but sort and would normally be bad. You would think like in the beginning they've got the two the couple making out on the boat and everything. Those guys were good. They didn't really like I believed it was happening. You know, I mean I don't know.
Yeah, just during the daylight, not at night, like they wanted it to be. But the
Right,
guy was a
right.
douche, and he I think should have died in the boat, not her. I think she should have lived a little bit longer. He did throw a beer bottle in the water, and she calls him out for it, and he's like, "What? It's just another bottle. Who cares?" Right there, the he should have got that tentacle wrapped around him and just pulled right into the water for littering. So it's
Right.
just like, dude, you're a dick. And then she forgives him, and they just kind of continue on. So I don't know, maybe it's slightly her fault too for putting up with it, but he should have just been yanked right off that boat.
Probably. I think what I kind of got mad about is they find his body, but they never find hers. And I kind of wanted that. I wanted them to find her body as well, maybe even next to his or whatever, because that wasn't that like a big part of the Native American characters trying to figure this stuff out too, because it was his freaking sister that was there, or whatever. So I was kind of
Yeah, and well, yeah, and the brother does say that after a while that his sister, the one in the boat, was dead, and
right.
then one of the other guys goes, "Well, hold on, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's wait and see what happens." So, Well, we all
Yeah.
know she's dead. She was either
Well, we know
eaten
she's
or
dead. Yeah.
yeah.
She's dead, but we don't know. I mean, but it would have been nice had they had that little bit of that closure that could have helped that close that storyline. Because then I'm like, what's the point? What was the point of the storyline? Like, with the brother. Why even introduce the brother? Like, what I mean? Like, he could have been just a fisherman that just didn't like them. Like that seemed to be what they were. The fishermen that didn't like the other fishermen. You know.
I guess to start the conflict between the local natives and the evil white fishermen. That there's that conflict there, and of course it's the white guy with the jersey on, and and you got the native girl there, and they're Romeo and Juliet type of thing, and they were never supposed to be out there together anyway. So
Right.
that kind of starts our head butting. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
maybe I would have preferred it then if since they went that route is maybe make the kid who dies a relative of one of the fishermen. So
Yeah.
then you have the sister is with her brother who's the local native guy, and then you have the the call or teenage guy who's with one of the fishermen. So then
Are,
you
are
do have that real conflict going.
are you saying you wanted this to be West Side Story?
Yes, yes, I'm a big fan of West Side Story. I would have liked that. Yeah,
I just think that would have been hilarious if
I
this
think
was
that
like
would have
the
been
West
great.
Side Story of like giant squid movies or whatever. Um,
Or the tough turf of Squid movies, so that way we could have James Spader in it
that's true.
and
That
the
would have
girl from Escape from Witch Mountain.
yeah, I
That would have been
adore
better.
those West Side Story movies like Thrashin' and you ever seen that movie, Thrashin'?
Long time ago, the skateboard movie.
Yeah. But it's basically West Side
Yeah,
Story.
long time ago.
It's with skateboards. So I mean, a West Side Story with a giant squid, I'll be all for that. You mentioned Romeo and Juliet and pretty much West Side Story and all those like ripoffs or whatever of it are Romeo and Juliet. So that could have been cool if they went that route, but
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't. They did not go that route.
No, no. I
Which
mean,
was
they have a giant octopus, so they don't need to.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Different
giant,
movie.
completely different movie.
And I did think I thought the tentacles looked pretty good though. I thought those looked good.
Yeah, the makeup and the effects and the all that stuff was fantastic. The visuals, all that. Just I was just very impressed by that
There were
stuff.
some things that I just didn't understand certain things in the film, like the main woman. So what exactly is she? Like she mentions that the sheriff dropped dead. So is she a cop? And if she is a cop, why is the police station on a dock? Unless she's
No,
like the port authority or something, or like a dock person.
she was like
But why
fishing
why are there
something.
no so why aren't there any cops in the town?
That's
Why isn't there a
true.
cop investigating that?
The
Because
murder.
I was kept getting confused because nobody kept saying, well, why don't we go? Because she said the sheriff dropped dead,
Mhm.
so then that makes the woman who's in charge of the dock the only authority.
Um, I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. Like it was kind of a lot of that was left kind of unanswered as to you're right because they would normally like when they found murders, like they found people's bodies dead, you know?
Right,
And when you find somebody's body dead, who do you call? The cops, So I have no
right.
idea why no cops were ever called, like, or anything. And that was probably a really big fuck up on their behalf.
Yeah, that was really confusing to me because I think they only mentioned it maybe once or twice what her actual title is, but it goes by so quickly I couldn't catch it. But it is, yeah, something like a harbor master, police person, but she's not the actual police. She's just kind of in charge of the dock or whatever it is. So it's and then I thought it was I did think it was lazy when you see the family that gets off the boat and there's the dad walking along the shore and he's recording everything. And he goes, "Oh, look at those rocks." And he starts recording the rocks that look no different than the mile that they've already walked
Right.
of rocks.
Right.
So like the filmmakers couldn't even like find a rock from somewhere and just stick it in the sand to make it look a little different. Because when we cut back to where he's standing, it looks no different than any part that he's walked on before.
Right.
So it's like, well, we got to get him to stop and the family continue. So now he'll just look at these rocks that look exactly the same as the other rocks he's already walked on.
That's
Because I went back and checked. They're like, did I miss something? And I went back and looked. It's like, no, they're the same exact rocks that he's walked over for like the last half mile or whatever it is.
I mean, I think they probably put that in the script for him to say that, and then the art department was non-existent or something, and they just are like, it's okay, nobody will care.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. See, I'm one for detail. So if I was there, I would have just told some PA or something, just go find me a big rock and
Like
just throw it in the
something different.
sand to make it look different. Yeah, than everything else.
Yeah.
It's because, as I'm sure, there was something, and they chose not to. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird and kind of lazy. And of course, that family is completely gone through the rest of the movie, even though the
Right.
dad's missing. You think that they would pop up at some point, again.
Didn't they
Even in
find
Jaws with the little
didn't they find
what's that?
the body? Like they found the because they have that bit
A
where they're
leg.
like, yeah, did they find just the leg? I thought they found the whole body because they were like, hey, the guy or I think I found your local fisherman or your local tourist or whatever, or not local, but your tourist, like, and then I don't know, like I think I remember hearing that.
Oh yeah, yeah. James Vanderbeek said they look down and they see. Yeah, they don't show you it, but yeah, he says it. But then there's the guy who goes out fishing and finds the leg. So I don't know if the two are related. Maybe maybe it's the same guy, but he just had his leg ripped off.
Okay, so I have a bunch of notes and I wanted to read a couple of things and get
Okay.
your opinions on them. So first off, starts off racist with the whole white guys hating on the Indians. The Indians don't well, I say Indians because they call them Indians, not because I call them Indians. They are Native Americans don't like the white folk either, you know. So there's a clash between the two races, I guess, or and whatnot. Then that we find the body of the guy that died, you know, but he was alive or whatever, right? Like, wasn't he alive? The guy that was floating in the, yeah, he was alive. So they find
Oh,
him.
in the speedboat.
Yeah, so they find him, the one that died in the very beginning of the movie, and he was like, I think it was.
Yeah, they find him, they pull him up, they think he's dead, and then he comes back and then goes like monster,
Yeah,
monster, and then he goes, ugh, and then he dies.
I call BS, man. Like that dude, it was like 2 or 3 days that dude was out in the fucking water all by himself. Like there's no effing way that dude would have like survived. Like he would have died of like probably of being frozen to, like or whatever, hypothermia. The dude would
Well,
have
they said yeah
freaking
that he had hypothermia. Yeah.
yeah, but he would have died. Like he would not have been still living. He was only living for that exact line of to tell him that he was that
Exactly.
it was a monster. And that was just lazy, sloppy direction or whatever, or writing. And I don't know who to blame in that. Actually, well, I blame the director because the writer wrote it and the director didn't go, this is, you got to rewrite this because this is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I
Well,
think
it's
we,
also meant as a jump cut. I mean, sorry, not as a jump cut, as a jump scare.
well, I know.
It's because he's you're correct that he only stayed alive to do that one line, but then he came back to life, and so that was meant to give us that jump scare too.
They could have given us that jump scare any other way, that was just lazy, writing and everything. It was just sloppy. So I blame the writer to begin with, and then I blame the director for allowing that to stay in just to freaking try to scare us. That was bad. All right. My next note is um oh my god. There was a line where she was like, I could not tell if it was a male or female torso that she bagged and tagged. What? How can you not tell if it's a male or female torso? You know, there was a line of that. Do you remember that at all?
I don't. No, I don't. But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, rewatch the movie sometime
I mean,
whenever
wouldn't
you
that
feel
be
like it.
obvious?
Yeah, like she was like, I can't tell if it's, and then
Oh no,
somebody
no, no. I'm good. I'm good.
somebody told her like how to, because it was I think over the phone or something, and then she was like, ew, like, or something like that. It was terrible. It was terrible, like
The
scene. Like, it made no
the
sense.
only thing I can. Well, I wonder if she didn't mean it then literally. I think I know the scene that you're talking about. That she's just describing something. That it's like, oh my god, this thing was so messed up. I couldn't even tell if it was male or female, but she could. She was just being
Yeah.
dramatic with it and kind of making a description to the person she was talking to of how messed up the body was.
Look, if it was just a
So
leg,
that's the only thing I could think of. But
even a leg, you could tell because most women paint their nails or whatever, toes. I mean, whatever. You can tell if it's a male or female torso. Like, it's just ridiculous. That was a terrible line. Uh, Top 10 reasons why fishing is better than sex is the best way to flirt that I've ever seen in one of these movies. I really enjoyed that scene. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed them talking about top 10 reasons why fishing is better than sex. And then at the end, he says nothing's better than sex. Like,
I enjoyed it. It was fine. It seemed to be something that was a little personal for two people who just met. I don't know if that's unless there's that instant connection, I guess, between them. But I'm probably looking too deep into a film called Eye of the Beast. But no, it was fine. I think it was a good little scene with them, And then I even liked what happened after that with him going over and talking to the like the local native guys and that all going the wrong way.
yep, I agree. I like those. I like that kind of the beginning of what could have been a fight scene, but they broke it up and everything. I adore that. That stuff was fun. Then I said, fishery. I'm guessing that's what it was called or whatever. Closed. And then my first thought of it was Jaws. So I was like, "Where's the mayor?" like, you know, like if the fishing's gonna be closed, it's the mayor
Well,
who
yeah,
does
I
it.
mean you can't get away from it's that's why there's people missing like the police and stuff are they're just missing from this and it seems to be a very small fishing town that doesn't have these officials wandering around because yeah, who announced it? I mean, I guess she did or he did, and
I think she did.
so yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like all I could think
And they
about
got
was
those signs
Jaws.
up pretty fast. So.
They did. Um,
Well, a lot of this is Jaws because you have even something like the like the parents on the beach, when the dad goes missing. That's almost like the little Kipner boy in Jaws. But the
right.
thing is you were introduced to the mom who was there and the son goes out and gets killed on the raft and then she comes back later, all pissed off at slaps Brody because he knew that there was a shark out there. We almost needed something like that, like this in it. I mean, granted, it'd be a total ripoff, but where did those parents go? They just kind of disappeared when they already knew that, that there was something out there.
Oh,
So
they
it's like,
okay.
they probably
No,
could have warned them, hey, don't walk too close to the beach or
there's
something.
there's a little bit of a difference because what they knew was out there was they thought that there might be a some kind of beast, some kind of monster, but they don't know what it is, or you know what I mean? Like, nobody's really seen it except the guy with the eye or whatever, the patch. That no reason to have him have a patch, by the way. He put it up and he had a normal eye. I'm like, what is he? I mean, I don't get this.
Well, that's
What?
because yeah,
What was that?
it's like that's it's all advertising. It's all marketing. He's got like the one eye missing because that sea guy, that one day or something, and I mean, I thought the shirts were kind of cool. So
Mm-hmm. Um, I,
what else?
I,
What else you got?
all right. And then let's see. Jordy is my favorite character. I loved him. He was he was sort of like the comic relief.
Jordy is which one?
Jordy is one of the fishermen, the white fisherman guys. He kind of the goofball character,
The young guy.
the young guy. Yeah,
He was the Bill Paxton. He was the
yeah,
Bill Paxton role from Aliens.
yes, exactly. Uh, the with the line like where what is it? I forgot which one said it, but fish guts, and then it I think it was her said it's chum, and then he said, "What do you think fish guts is?" or something like that. One of them said that line, and I thought that was kind of funny. Because fish.
Well, and he is chumming. He's chumming out there, and she is sheriff lady is out there, with him, and he goes, "Hey, continue chumming." Like for whatever reason, he has to go inside, maybe to take a leak or something. I don't know, and she doesn't do it. Like
Right.
he's not like being a jerk or anything. He's just like, "Hey, finish chumming. We need to do this to get this octopus up," and she just doesn't do a thing. She just leaves it there. So it's like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you just standing there? He asked you to do something. And it's for a reason.
Right. My next one was Spear Right in the Eye of the Beast. So we actually get the title of the movie was showing just one eye of the octopus, and then a spear goes right in it. And I thought that was kind of a perfect thing for this movie.
Okay, so this is my biggest thing with this film. I was so let down by what this thing looked like. I like the tentacles because I like the whole kind of Jaws thing where you didn't really see the shark a lot, you just saw the barrels. So in this, you didn't really see the octopus, you saw the tentacles. And I thought that was fine because they actually looked decent. When that thing popped up out of the water at the end, I was like, did a 5-year-old do this, do these visual effects? Because it just looked bad. And then with them, electrocuting the lake, okay, so you're already worried about there not being any fish, which, by the way, they never mention that the reason why there's probably no fish is because the octopus is eating them. That's why. But I don't believe that's ever brought up. But you just electrified the lake. Now all the fish are dead.
Right.
You just electrocuted the entire lake.
Mm-hmm.
So now you guys don't have any fish. Like, and I'm gonna keep comparing it to Jaws. Like, spill that a shark could jump on the back of the boat and then will explode a little bit later. Nobody's gonna believe you. He's like, yes, they will, because the way I'm gonna do this, they're gonna believe that by the end of this movie, that shark can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I felt with this: is you're building everything up. Give me something more than just it rising up, spear in the eye, going back down again, and being electrocuted. Make the thing freaking explode. Do something. I mean, it's a visual effect anyways. Just explode it. Just have it. Who cares at that point? You've already established that the thing is much longer than a normal octopus. It's longer and bigger. So make it go boom instead of just and that was it. I was so disappointed.
And then at the end, completely when they've killed the beast, or whatever, I wrote this line. I don't know much about physics, but I don't think that wire would have wrapped around her leg like that and taken her down into the depths of the water. Like it just didn't. It just seemed like, okay, we need another like scare at the end to make them basically, for James Vanderbeek to be the hero, basically, have
Well,
him
yeah,
go
we
save
got
her.
to get a way to, yeah, they have to find a way to get them to make out.
Right.
And so how do we do that? So she goes into the water. It's also very reminiscent of Moby Dick,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what happened to Ahab, is that he got caught up in the rope. And in the book for Jaws, that's how Quint dies, is he gets caught in the rope and then goes in the movie.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, yeah. Oh, the book is, if you want to do a compare and contrast the book to movie, just read Jaws. It's only an idea is Jaws the same thing from book to movie,
Oh
from
wow.
to film. But yeah, they just had to figure out a way of getting them together at the end. And I agree with you. Yeah, I mean the chances of that happening are pretty slim, but I guess it didn't bother me that much because it was something extra that just wasn't, I don't know, kind of a lame visual effect of the head going up and going down.
Right.
Kind of took my mind off that for a second.
It was so terrible.
But I'm wondering, like, how much of that lake is still, is still electrified. I mean, they're going in like right after that octopus went down. So does,
That's true.
I've never been in a electrified water. Does it instantly stop, or is there still currents kind of going through there?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Once
Um,
again, probably putting in way too much thoughts into a movie called Eye of the Beast.
it's true. Probably, but I almost feel like these kind of podcasts you need to. Um, did you have any notes? Did you have anything specific you wanted to mention that we didn't mention on?
No, I mean, I literally just watched it. I was probably just a couple hours ago, so it was pretty fresh in my mind. I mean, like I said, I thought the tentacles looked good. I thought the acting was decent. The directing was okay. The shots that he got were fine. The practical effects I thought were good. Like the one guy's arm gets ripped off, and you get the leg that he brings in. But all that stuff looked good. The kills that were fine. They were pretty standard for this type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. I just don't know about that color grading and some of that other stuff where it's like, this is clearly daytime. Why does this look black and white? That type of stuff
Yeah.
really kind of annoyed me. But like I said, maybe it's my DVD. Maybe there's something wrong with it. I don't know, because
I don't
I watched the
remember.
same DVD twice and it did the same thing twice.
I don't remember specifically how the color grading. I'm not very like there are some directors and you might be one of them that are really good at like that, like knowing the color grading differences and different things like that. I mean, I'm just like I just look at it if I see a movie and it doesn't like stand out to me, like oh my god, this is looks terrible, I'm generally I just kind of like let it just, you know, go. You know what I mean? Like I don't ever like pay attention to that stuff.
And I look at everything and I analyze everything. I mean,
Just like Paul, man.
it's almost like I can't even enjoy a movie.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Paul. Paul will
You kind of
watch
have to,
what?
because you can even if you go back in this, like story wise, story is what I analyze the most. So if she saw this shadow or saw her dad get taken by the octopus when she was, I think she said 7, she's now in her 20s. Nobody in the town believes her. Nobody, she gets made fun of and everything. In that time frame, there has never been a sighting. Never. No one else has mysteriously died from this place. No one has seen just like a tentacle pop out of the water, like the Loch Ness monster. I
Mhm.
mean, there's been photos, which of course is fake, but there's still photos of that thing, above and below the water. So at no point did this thing ever do anything else except for just
Mm.
stay underwater and eat fish.
Right.
So it's like you almost needed like the crazy guy who has all the photographs and he's got proof, and this is a tentacle, but it's 20 years old and it's all mangled looking. I mean, that's the stuff that I look at with these things, because it's the film itself is fine. Get your buddies over, grab some beer, order a pizza, have a good time watching Eye of the Beast and a few of these, Maneaters Series, Maneaters Series.
Yeah,
Films.
man
And don't
eaters,
analyze it too
man
much, but
eaters.
it's like the Man Eaters. Yes, Man Eaters series. But and there's a lot of them, and I've seen some of them, so I've
Oh, we're
enjoyed
gonna
them.
be
But yeah,
talking
you can't
about almost
get me
every
too
one of
deep.
them. So, and I know, so real quick, I'll let people know this. I mean, we already shot one earlier. This is actually technically the second episode, but this is going to be the first one that airs. Second episode will air on the 15th. So on the 1st and the 15th of every month, you'll get a new Maneater series, which I think is pretty cool. Episode where we'll be talking about the movies, and we did something beneath. We did this as well, and we'll do a ton more, coming up with other special guests. But my thought is, if there's going to be like 24 episodes, I think, that's going to probably be what, cause I think there's 3 of them that are like either really hard to find or just don't exist on like DVD, or digital streaming. So, but our plan is to I would love to have 8 special guests and each do 3 episodes. So if you're on board to do 2 more, there you go. If not, you know,
Oh
if
yeah,
after this movie, well, I guess after
definitely.
this movie, you definitely want to be back because there's definitely more out there that are just as fun. You know what I mean? Like this is just a fun, goofy movie. Especially if you just shut your brain off and just kind of enjoy it for what it is, um, but I mean, all of them are, uh, sci-fi. They're just pure sci-fi channel stuff. M-
Oh, totally.
made completely like that. I'm surprised the Asylum didn't do any of these. These just seem like right up their alley. You know. But there you go.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
Maybe. I don't know. I've been thinking about that at some point. Maybe next year. Because like once I'm done with this, maybe I'll dive into the world of Asylum. And because they've got a lot, but I probably wouldn't do
Those they do, and those would be tough too, because that's it depends on when you want to start. If you start off when they first started, wow, those are kind of tough to get through.
no,
But their
I
more recent stuff, within the last few years, has been pretty good.
I don't know. I like their older stuff too. Like their older stuff's what got me into them. I've talked about this on other podcasts before, but I don't think I've ever told you. Uh I was having a really crappy day at the work that I was doing, at the job I was at, and I was just not in a good mood, you know? So I was like, let's see what's on Sci-Fi Channel. Like that would, they usually make me, make me happy. You know what I mean? So I went on the Sci-Fi
Sure.
Channel and Beast of Bray Road was playing. And I sat down and watched it and
Yep.
I was like, this is just a fun movie. Like I really enjoyed it. The director was Lee Scott. I thought he did a fantastic job for like a low budget werewolf movie, you know? And so
I used to argue politics with him quite a bit.
eh, don't need to talk about that because, I think that's probably why he left the asylum, honestly. But and which is okay because he's still doing his own movies and his own stuff. Like, I mean, good for him. But like Beast of Bray Road was the movie that got me into the asylum. And after that I started interviewing a bunch of them, a bunch of actors, and I've become friends with some of them, personally. So it's just an amazing, and I got to work on an asylum movie last year. So I mean, to me, it's just a fantastic road, like a fantastic trip, And I would love to do something where because the problem is we did the Asylum last year for Indie Film Cafe. You were the guest for Alien versus Hunter. And we're gonna probably do another
Oh
one
yeah.
this year, and then we'll probably do another one next year. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them. Doing them once a year, it would probably take us 100 years. So or more or longer because they've done over 100 movies. So we
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a show about the
Oh,
asylum
so
would
it
help.
would almost take you.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you could almost go 2 months, one episode a week, just on the Sharknado movies. I mean,
That's true.
there's so many of them. I mean, right there, that would take up 2 months.
Exactly. Ugh. Um, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy we're doing this show because I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of fun episodes talking about some of the movies. And this movie was great. It had some problems, but it was still fun. I mean, it wasn't great as in like technically great, or whatever, but it was fun. It accomplished what it meant to set out to accomplish.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
Hmm.
sure, sure.
I
I
have
wouldn't
this,
say it's horrible by any means.
yeah, I have this feeling that I'm not going to not like a movie. Now if I find one I don't like, I'm going to make a big deal out of that, cuz so far the ones I've seen a few already, including this and the one we just did, but I've seen a few other ones and I'm like these are fun, you know. I can't wait to do Maneater, like do the podcast on Maneater, the Gary Busey one, you know. Like good god, having Gary Busey in a sci-fi film is fantastic.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, who he wins if it's between Hall and Oates and him, fighting Maneater. Then I could be dating myself with that joke, but
We'll see.
see,
See if
John and
I
Oates have a song from the '80s called "Manhunter," and Gary Busey is mostly known from the '80s, so they're fighting each other for the Manhunter. I'm dating myself.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to add on this?
No, not really. Like I said, if you catch it on TV or whatever, or find it at the 99-cent store, or find it like Dollar Tree or something, or just can find it cheap online, pick it up and enjoy it with your friends while having some beer and a pizza.
Yeah,
It's that type of movie. So
it is definitely that type of movie. So have fun, get your friends together, have a good laugh, pretty much, just enjoy it. I had a blast. So this month is this one and Something Beneath, which will be on the 15th. Then after that, we'll announce more episodes, what the next ones are later. But trust me, each month we'll have 2 episodes. And you know, I think literally if I do this with the asylum next year, it would take me 3 years, 4 years to do 2 episodes a month and get through all, as
yeah,
actually, yeah, maybe
they got a
longer than that.
lot.
Jesus Christ, maybe longer than that. So it would, we'll see. We'll see if I end up at least doing that for like a year, seeing 24 episodes seems like a good amount. If I can do all 27, if I can figure a way to talk about the other 3 that are harder to find, I will do that, you know. Uh,
What are those three, so I and other people can be on the lookout?
okay, so the other 3, they're in here. Uh, well, Shark Killer and The Hollow, and I think Scarecrow. Now I'm not sure if Scarecrow is
Ooh,
available.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, on DVD, I think. It might be. Yeah, and you can't really look
And
Scarecrow
Shark
up
Killer
because
is one.
yeah, Shark Killer and um what was the other one was um Shark Killer and The Hollow. And that's like a cursed
The Hollow.
movie.
Okay.
Let me see what year that Scarecrow movie came out because it's just called Scarecrow, which I think is just terrible. Like, why just name it? There's so many of those, and
Right.
I think it's the one that stars Lacey Chabert and Robin Dunn.
Wait, I own that.
Okay,
I
so
own
that
that, but it's not listed as part of this series.
I think it is. It's not like I don't think. Oh, you mean like
I
on the
don't think.
DVD? On the DVD, it doesn't say Maneaters, but it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I have it. I believe I think I found it. It's something like I probably found it like Zia Records or something because I got it because of her.
Right. Yeah, I think it's
So
that
that
one.
definitely is available.
Okay, yeah. So it is available. Yeah, so it says sci-fi original movie on the cover right there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, that's a cover of it. I don't know if that's the cover you have or not. Um, but it's
Put it up one more time. Quickly put it up.
can you see that?
Uh, maybe. Yes, I think that is the cover I have.
And
I
it says
think so.
sci-fi original movie on it.
Yeah, I thought it maybe had a white cover, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
just found it used, and I figured, oh shit, it's a Scarecrow movie with her in it, so might as well pick it up. Why not?
yeah, it's the Maneaters series. So, um,
Huh?
yeah, those are just
It's not bad.
okay. So that is available. I'll probably have to buy that at some point. Um, let's see. The Shark Killer. I don't know if it's available or not because I
Yeah, that
don't.
I've never heard of.
Yeah, and they have shark movies like I mean they have the Shark Swarm. Um,
That I've heard of.
yeah. Uh, Shark Killer. Yeah. Oh, it's free to watch on IMDb TV. So,
I
all
think it's
right.
on Tubi. I'm just looking right now. Shark Killer 2015.
Yeah. All right. The Scarecrow available.
Blood is thicker than water.
I wonder if Scarecrow's available on TV. Scarecrow.
There are a lot of them.
It's not popping up. There's a lot. Yeah, well, there's a lot of
I don't see that one.
No, I don't think it is. I'm looking at these. There's a lot of like Scarecrow things, but
Whoa. And then
and
the
then
Hollow.
the Hollow. The Hollow, I think, is going to be the one that's the hardest.
On Tubi, there is a film called The Hollow, but it's a crime mystery thriller from 2016.
That might be it. Miles.
I mean, it looks like it's like a gangster movie.
Miles. Let me
It's
see.
got William Forsythe and
Hold on. Let me see if this is it, because no. Nope, it's a different it's a different one. That's 2015 and not 16. Let's see.
all right. So got all of them but one. That's not too bad.
Well, no, but it looks like that one, that Hollow, is available to purchase on Amazon Prime. You have to purchase it or whatever. You can't just um so let me see. Let me see if that is true.
The one I
Um
want to see is Yeti. Yeti is the one that I want to see.
you and Paul.
So if you got Yeti or can find Yeti, why we both want to do Yeti?
Yeah, he wants to do that too. Maybe you guys can both do it with me. I don't know. That sounded really, really dirty. All right
You
then.
found it dirty?
Yeah. Let's see. The Hollow 2015.
Is he a dirty Yeti?
Dirty Yeti. That's a porno there.
Bad
Um
Yeti.
Bad Yeti. All right, so you can buy the Hollow on Amazon for $8. So I guess I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to find somebody who'll buy it for $8 with me. Yeah. because that's the only way you can watch it. Sadly, it doesn't look like it has a DVD release. Um, yeah, it doesn't have a DVD release. Damn.
I'm down for Tubi or DVD release.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's somebody out there that will fucking buy that movie with me, or I'll buy
One way
it,
or another, you'll tackle them all.
or I'll buy it and somebody can come over, and we'll have a COVID-19 kind. Maybe it'll be Eric Spudik, who I just had on my show, because we do Saturday night movies all the time. We just did something beneath, so maybe I'll do
There
that.
you go.
But it's gonna be later.
I'll do Scarecrow with you since I already own that one.
Yeah, and you've seen it, right?
Scarecrow would be good.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a few that you'll
like
be
it.
on, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to have as many people as I can come on the shows, and do this. So we'll see how it goes. But all right, we've been talking for over an hour. Awesome. So thank you so much, John. This is
Oh,
great.
okay.
This is a great
Yeah, good.
start to
Sure.
the series. I'm looking forward to. People are probably like, "Why am I watching people just looking up stuff on their phone?" And I'm like, but you know what? If you stuck with us and watched this whole
But
thing,
it's still relevant to what we're talking about. So
I know, and God bless your soul for sticking around and watching this whole thing with us. We really appreciate it.
I give you a thumbs up for staying around.
Yeah, and if you give us never mind. I don't want to say anything that don't, because people that do it. If you want to make something do something, say don't to them on one of your shows, then they'll do it. Just to piss you off. So never mind.
Well, don't have me review Scarecrow then. There you go.
Okay,
Now you have to.
Now I have to. All right.
That's
That's
put the
what's
dose
set.
out there.
No, that's set because I don't think many people were clamoring for that one. Nobody was like saying, "Oh, I want it." Yeti was Paul's first pick, so I guess you'll be back for that when we do that, because he wants to do that. But I'm sure he'll do another one too. At least I'm gonna have as many.
As long as I can do Scarecrow, I'm happy.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we had a great time. Everybody, please tune in. Check out the 1st and 15th of every month. We'll have a new episode. So fun times. Also, today I'm launching my sickflickproductions.com relaunch website, so we're relaunching that. So that's going to be fun. So check that out. Also check out indiefilmcafe.reviews, indiefilmcafe.podbean.com, and patreon.com/indiefilmcafe if you want to donate us like $1 or so, to help us out. We can't do this for free, for the rest of our lives. Gotta make something.
That is not the idea.
Yeah. But thank you, John. This is awesome. We really appreciate it. And we'll definitely have you back on the show. And you'll be on Indie Film Cafe this
I
year.
appreciate it. Thanks. It was fun being here.
Yeah, you're gonna be on a bunch of our shows. So I think you're even on.
Yay!
I know you'll be on Hollywood Boulevard at some point. You're gonna be on like a bunch this year. So we're just like last year. We're really happy to have you, and we're happy to have you back for this year. So awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So
yeah, no problem. All right. Well, stick around. But everybody else, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And tune in on the 15th for Something Beneath with Eric Spudik. Bye.